and then I relaxed, and then I just felt fine afterwards, and then I just enjoyed it, you know, just rode with it, enjoyed it, and just like this is life.
Now the reality is, it's really freaking cold.
It is cold.
And your mind and your body tells you to get out.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But that thing, drive, whatever you want to call it inside of you that says no, chose to stay.
Yeah.
Now that is something that can be used, one, to overcome that obstacle, because that in itself is an obstacle in front of you.
Yeah.
It really is, because the mind and body, now one can say, oh, I love it, because I do. I told you earlier, I said, man, I'm kind of addicted to my cold plunge. I've been doing it 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, I already did it twice this morning. I got in the morning before I went to the high school to coach and train, and then afterwards I went in and got in again. I love it.
Yeah.
But even though I love it, it still hurts and is painful, and like instinctually, because as human beings, we are wired to protect ourselves, right? From harm.
Yeah.
Instinctually, I'm like, ugh, get out of here. But I don't. I stay.
Yeah.
And it's not just making me stronger, and it's not just helping my body recover, reducing inflammation, creating circulation. It's building my mind. Hey everybody, Joseph Estrada here. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm with my boy,
Rudy Raya.
and our other boy,
Cody Crawford.
Guys, kind of exciting today. So there's always a man behind the camera, right?
Yeah. So
Who's that man, gentlemen?
This is Mr. Cody.
Cody Crawford.
I would usually be right behind the equipment, but today we changed of plans, so I'm up here, and I'm still looking.
Cody's our guest. We thought it would be good, very insightful for him to be a part of today. Today we're going to go over a little bit of what we all need, some of us accomplish, and some of us run away from. And that is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know, using art, training, philosophical insights, and other tools to overcome obstacles and challenges right in front of you, which are not only going to help you overcome what's there in front of you, but also going to carry forward and give you strength physically, mentally, emotionally to overcome other obstacles later on, you know, that day, week later, even in life down the road. So we're going to do that and have a great talk about that. But before we do that, we're actually going to give a little bit of a shout out. Gentlemen, what does that say?
PB Remix.
Bam! Double time. Jinx, you're it. Sorry, I know, I'm a big kid. PB Remix, guys. So a lot of you guys know that we're formulating Sequoia Labs. It's a very healthy, natural protein product. We've got our first product out, actually formulated. We're working with a packing company in Georgia, and that is True Spice. We're working with True Spice to get our test sample from them so that they can begin to package. We can get our protein tubs and individual servings and get Sequoia Labs on the market. So
nice.
Very exciting stuff. Well, when we were down there, Kaden and I flew out to Georgia last week, maybe a week and a half ago. Quick turnaround trip. We got there Thursday, drove in, met with the guys, and we met with Neil and Blake. Neil is the owner of True Spice, and Blake is his associate partner, his right-hand man, if you would. And in meeting with them, we realized, man, they have a great vision. We have a great vision. They love health, proper nutrition, putting the right things in your body. Well, while we're talking, he was like, man, I think that you would really connect with one of our clients, Lou, who is one of the owners in Pinnacle Performance, which is a performance training center in Atlanta, Georgia, specifically for high school, college, and professional athletes.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
His partner was a professional pitcher for the Braves, and for the life of me, I can't remember his name right now, but
Is it John Smoltz?
I don't know.
Maybe,
We'll find out. Blake hooked me and Lou up in a text. We connected, and we clicked, man. We clicked really well and talked about our product, talked about his products. And what they do, they also have what's called PB Remix, pbremix.com. That's their website. It's a whole food. It's peanut butter with a bang. You're getting a higher level of protein content, other nutrients in the product. I'm not going to.
And this is exactly what this is, right?
But that's what this is. So at home, I have 4 containers of actual peanut butter, PB Remix.
Oh, okay.
These I brought in to sample with you guys today live. I'm going to go ahead and sample these. This is their PB Remix, and laugh at me, you guys. Laugh at me, onion eaters.
Cheaters.
It's fine. So fuel, perform, recover, repeat. So there's 5 bites, and in each of these bites, We have, where's the nutritional?
It's on the bottom.
It's on the bottom. So in each of these bites, we have 273 calories. Serving size is 1 power bite. There's 5. That's 273 calories in 1 power bite. Calories from fat, 220. Total fat, we have 15 grams. Saturated fat, 5 grams. Trans fat, 0. Cholesterol, 1 gram. Total carbohydrates, 28 grams. Keep in mind, guys, this is performance. This is recovery. This is to give your body the fuel that it needs to move forward and fight that day or go and compete in your sport, whatever it is it might be. And dietary fiber, 3 grams. And sugars, 17. Protein, 11 grams. That's in 1 bite.
Yeah.
We have 5 bites here, which I'm actually really excited about.
That's like almost 1,000+ calories.
That's 1,000+ calories. That's more than 1,000 calories. Yeah,
of all 5 of them.
For sure, at all 5 of them. So let's just put that over there for now. And we're going to go ahead and sample this. Again, PB Remix. Ryan, go ahead and grab yours.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. So we train a lot.
It's all nutty.
You guys know I coach at the high school. You guys train yourselves. Cody, you've been getting a lot more consistent on your training, you've been telling me.
Yeah, I have. I've just been getting back onto the grind of things and finding more time to just be at the gym.
Nice.
And I've gotten to the point where it's like I've been stronger since I have been since in high school, and that's like all that matters really for me. And
Okay.
I'm gonna keep going at it, you know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pushing your body, man.
Yeah.
And Raya, you've been pretty consistent yourself.
Actually, I fell off the wagon.
Okay, you fell off the wagon.
Fell off the wagon.
He's honest. That's a good thing, right? There you go.
It happens, and sometimes I just got to find that balance and where I don't burn out.
There you go.
And so,
Yeah.
but I'm getting back into wanting to go back again. So
Good. You're going to.
I'm going to.
No, you're going to.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. You guys ever have a long day? You got to train. I train a lot of times in the morning, especially right now in the summer. I train with the team at the high school. We go in, me and coach, program a workout. We push. We train with them. We think a coach that trains with the athletes is a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
Some that can, it's okay. But when you can and you have the ability to, we think that's very important. It encourages them. And let's be real, man, they push us.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
They push
Yeah.
us. But sometimes in the morning, I'm running late. It is what it is. House full of kids and dogs. And I'm like, man, I got to go. I don't have a chance to eat.
Yeah.
Throw in one of these, 273 calories with that carb content and protein.
And that
before you
fiber.
go. Fiber, it's going to give you that energy. So cheers, gentlemen.
Hey, cheers.
cheers.
Cheers to PB Remix. Lou, God bless you.
It's like biting into a big cookie
Oh,
dough.
man. I got a major hint of honey.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
There's some earthiness to it too.
Very earthy. Oaty. I got the oats. I got the chocolate. You know, one thing I don't taste is chalky protein.
Yeah.
I do not.
Oh yeah.
That's very good. Good
It's more,
quality.
it's just very nutty.
That chocolate's really good. And we love peanut butter here.
We love peanut butter.
Honestly, it's like you're really just taking into a bite of like a big healthy cookie dough.
Right, but you know, you've had like those supposedly health like granola bars or
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Like this is way superior than this than that, you know?
No, that is great. That is great. You know what? I'm going to get me a glass of water, though. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is me walking out for some water.
I come prepared, guys.
Really came prepared.
Yeah, I think we got our water. I think mine's almost empty.
There's
Oh, that is so good. Hang on.
there's some fruit in there, right? Is there fruit in there?
I don't know, very nutty. Honey, definitely got the honey taste.
There's a honey in there.
The honey,
but
I taste like raisins in there. There's no raisins in there, right?
No, there's oats, I'm thinking. That's what I was feeling. But no, that's incredible, man. Lou, keep doing what you do, my bro.
Wow, that's
I'm going to get this into other people's hands. And
I think
as
flax
soon as
seeds
Sequoia's
too.
first product's out, I'll get some over to you guys so that you guys can test it yourself. And yeah, we'll get some good things going.
That's
but yeah, so good stuff, man. Moving forward, now that we're all well fed and energized, I love it. Cody actually came over the other night. Just Cody, man. Cody came over home with
Sunday
the family
night.
on was
Yeah.
it Sunday or Saturday?
It was Saturday night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Saturday night. Cody came over and night got a little hectic as it does in the Estrada house. We're all over the place.
Yeah.
But ended up swimming, played Just Dance for like
Yeah,
an hour and a half with Colleen and Joey.
Yeah,
right?
with Joey and
Hunter.
Colleen and Hunter too. Yeah.
So
We were
they
playing
were
Just
having
Dance.
a good time.
It was like for about a while because we were waiting for the chicken to
while I was
barbecue.
barbecuing.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, and it's movement, you know, and it's fun because I love this. You guys were hanging out, having fun, dancing, sweating like nobody's business, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
Me-
Movement is life, right?
Me and Joey were competing.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
dancing.
they were competing hard, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, they were going for it. It actually was pretty cool.
When you play video games, make sure you move.
Yeah, make sure you move.
Yeah.
That's right. And then one thing that we're loving right now at our house, we have the sauna now that's been set up, you know, and then we just got our cold plunge from Cold Plunge, and that came in. I've been using that honestly twice a day, 3 to 5 minutes, 39 to 41
Dude, that
degrees.
thing's great.
Is it?
Personally, I want to get one now
Yeah,
too.
Cody was there. You got to partake in that.
Yeah,
Man. What did you think about it?
I was like, I knew at first. It was like, okay, this is gonna be like something weird because it was my first time doing it, really, like doing cold plunge. But I remember doing cold plunges with Isaac up in the mountains a couple of times, and that was like a whole different experience because like I think that water was even more colder than it was, and like when you're jumping into it, like you can feel your heart like reset, and you're just kind of like got the adrenaline flowing, and you're just like, oh man, you know, you're getting into that fight or flight effect, you know.
Yeah.
This time around, it wasn't like that. It was more calm because like we went into the sauna. I think we were in there for about like 30 minutes.
Nice. At about 185 to 195
Yeah.
degrees.
We had to reset the clock because we stayed in a little longer after.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, it was just me and Joey, and we just kept talking. And then eventually like we both felt it. We were kind of like, oh, dude, like, you know, like we're all like super sweaty, and then we're just kind of like starting to like breathe really heavily. And we're like, okay, I think we need to step out now.
Nice.
So then he went to go grab something, and then he lifted out the top for the cold plunge. And so I was like, yeah, you go grab that. I'm just going to plunge right in. And so he went on his own, and then I just immediately stepped right into it and then just got inside. And I was just like, whew. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, just kind of like calm down. And then I relaxed, and then I just felt fine afterwards. And then I just enjoyed it, you know, just rode with it, enjoyed it, and just like, this is life.
Now the reality is, it's really freaking cold.
It is cold.
And
yeah.
Your mind and your body tells you to get out.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But that thing, drive, whatever you want to call it, inside of you that says no, chose to stay.
Yeah.
Now that is something that can be used, one, to overcome that obstacle, because that in itself is an obstacle in front of you.
Yeah.
It really is, because the mind and body, now one can say, oh, I love it, because I do. I told you earlier, I said, man, I'm kind of addicted to my cold plunge. I've been doing it 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, I already did it twice this morning. I got in the morning before I went to the high school to coach and train, and then afterwards I went in and got in again. I love it.
Yeah.
But even though I love it, it still hurts and is painful, and like instinctually, because as human beings, we are wired to protect ourselves, right? From harm.
Yeah.
Instinctually, I'm like, ugh, get out of here. But I don't. I stay.
Yeah.
And it's not just making me stronger, and it's not just helping my body recover, reducing inflammation, creating circulation. It's building my mind. It's building my mind to another level, and that's what it does. It helps you to go to that place. And at first, the first couple times I got back in the groove, because I used to do it a lot, stopped. Since I've had it, I've been doing it every day, 2 times a day, sometimes more if I can. The first time it was like, oh, I had to get pumped up and psyched. And now I'm finding I'm throwing on a good song, 3 to 5 minutes or so. I just press play, and I don't even put a clock on anymore. I sing the song.
Oh, yeah.
I just chill out and sing the song with my eyes closed, and I love it, and I enjoy it, and I embrace it.
It's nice.
Now, I want to share something that I didn't realize until I realized it today. You know, it's one of those things like you don't know until you know. I've been doing it so consistently. My mind is getting stronger. My body is physically changing. I can feel it. I feel my skin tightening. I'm training the same, training hard, doing what I do, but I am noticing a difference. You know, and there are scientific reasons behind that. I'm not a scientist, and I did a little bit of research, but not enough to blab it all off right now. No. But I understand that the brown fat, it actually helps melt that away. And I can feel that. Well, at the high school this morning, we're training, and I'm pushing myself. And I've always been this way, and you guys know that, have trained with me. I always push.
Yeah.
But it was a lot easier when I was getting tired, because we were doing some power movements, but we were cycling it, you know, in groups of 3. So we were doing triplets, you know, a power movement, a couplet, another movement behind it, and then a core movement. And we're moving pretty fast, trying to be efficient on our time. I was exhausted, and we were doing side lunges with a plate, like 25, 35, 45-pound plate. Well, instead I threw a barbell on my back with quarters and was doing my side lunges with that. And then the next set around, my last set, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I said, oh man, you know what, stay the same. Or in my mind, I'm like, you can just grab a plate or whatever. But you know what? Without even thinking about it, I didn't even have to think about it. I threw more weight on.
Oh.
I threw more weight on. I went the other way, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to push myself harder. And I did. I pushed myself harder. Then I went out and I ran my lap at the end of it just to cool down. And I thought about it after. I'm like, wow, I impressed myself. And I said, why did I do that? And I directly attribute that to what I've been doing with the cold plunge. Nice. I've been getting myself uncomfortable. I've been getting very comfortable getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And now not just getting comfortable there, but learning to embrace it and even liking it more.
Wow.
And I've been in that place before, but I'm progressively building that back up, which is not just going to play out to jump in the cold plunge for longer, to train harder. It's going to play out in all aspects of life. Yeah. When I'm tired and I want to go home and I have to comp properties, or I have to search for more, or I have to do this, or I have to do that, or I have to do back-end office stuff for the company that no one even knows I'm doing, but it's what we got to do.
There's a lot.
It kind of inspires you.
It inspires you.
Yeah.
It really does.
It did the same thing for me. Like, after coming back from the cold plunge, I kind of like sat down and then I just started drawing. Yeah.
Really?
So what's a recommended, what do they recommend for cold plunge? Is it once a day?
I mean,
I know you. He's Mr. Extreme. So you guys know, he's Mr. Extreme.
3 to 5 times a day, I'm thinking. So realistically, they say if you can do 3 to 4 times a week,
3 or 4 times a week.
Okay.
The benefits are going to be signisignificant.
It's like every other day.
Yeah, if you could do every other day.
Yeah.
You know? Me, I'm going to do it every day, at least 1 time a day.
Yeah.
You know, that's where I'm at.
Because I'm curious because, you know, if study shows like it helps reduce that brown fat, which is enemy number 1 for men.
Yeah.
Because it kills your estrogen. I mean, your testosterone.
Oh, speaking of that,
So,
go with that, yeah.
So, because you know, we all have extra estrogen here, and that's all brown fat.
Yeah.
So if it helps eliminate that, that's something I'm curious about.
Well, check this out.
Yeah.
And Mr. Joe Rogan, who a lot of people listen to, he actually did a study or had someone on. They discussed it and talked about. I'm pretty sure it was him. Don't quote me. You can look into it yourself. But individuals that were utilizing the cold plunge before a workout, men and women both, they were increasing muscle mass. They did a case study. Those that weren't and those that were, their muscle mass was increasing exponentially. I want to say it was like 4x, and their testosterone levels were naturally increasing. Doing it before you work out.
Do you think it has to do with the increased circulation?
That's
that you
a
get?
good point.
You know, like it starts feeding your muscles. Like now you have more blood flow going to your muscles.
I'm going to dig a little bit deeper because I want to know too.
Because I'm curious about that because
I
do see that. Like I look on YouTube and whatnot, and I see a lot of cold plunge videos. They're just copping on. Like I see people like they're doing it and they're like, you know, living the healthiest life.
Now, is it usually better to do it before or after a workout?
Well, they're saying before.
Before?
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Wow.
You know, a sauna after the workout to help circulate. Will increase recovery, kind of sweat the toxins out.
Yeah,
that's a good one. You know,
there's a like a, because you know I've done the sensory deprivation,
the salt bath.
Yeah, salt bath. Yeah. And it's awesome. But they also have this place in Redlands they have this thing called fire and ice where you sit in the sauna, and then you cold plunge, then you go back into the sauna. And then you cold plunge again,
which is essentially what we're doing.
Which is what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So
it's basically the same thing.
So I guess there's a bunch of but I think they do infrared sauna.
Okay.
Then they do the cold plunge.
We have the infrared.
Which you have the
Yeah. The infrared only goes to about 145. I don't like that because I like it hotter. I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe it's to protect us.
Mr. Extreme here again.
So what I do, this is bad. I go up in the back and I lick my fingers, or I dip my finger in water and I hit the sensor. And it burns. I don't think I have fingertips on these fingers anymore. I'll go there and I'll rub until it goes from 194 down to like 170, but it's still at 194, and then we'll pour more on.
I see you and Joey like just pour water into the cold like constantly, and I'm like, usually like other saunas they just pour it once and you just leave it like that.
No, we
you just
one time
just kick it up.
I was in the sauna with him and like. My eyes were like, I blinked, they were kind of burning, and I felt my hair. And the thing is, you don't feel like you're burning until you like touch your hair. You're like, oh wow,
it's really hot.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And then it was in wintertime. We go out. And this is at night, and I'm like freaking steaming. I was like,
that was awesome.
Yeah,
I like that.
Who has to trim their nose hairs?
I don't have to do that.
I don't at all anymore. You want to know why?
Why?
Because it gets so hot in there, I burnt all my nose hairs out.
Really?
There goes
I
my
don't know if
beard.
that's good or bad, but one day I was in there and I'm like, something's burning. I'm like, it smells like burnt hair. I was like, oh, my nose. And I literally have no more nose hair. They're burning it all out.
Jeez.
That is, I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's the kind of heat we're in. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But, it's crazy.
It's one way to get rid of it.
It's one way to get rid of it. But, and even that, man, even sitting in the sauna at 185, 195, 210, whatever temperature you're at for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes or more, it's a mental battle sometimes.
I've heard it,
It
like,
is.
for me mainly, like, it really just helps out, like, clear out all the pores, like, I sometimes deal with eczema and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that night, like, I came back home and I was like, it didn't look so bad as it was before, because it's like I did the sauna. Yeah, like I just sweated it all out in the sauna, took the cold plunge, and then just closed all the pores, and then
Nice.
just like felt just refreshed.
But this technique, that's not nothing new. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's ancient.
It's ancient. Like
Yeah.
the Native Americans used to,
Yeah.
hot saunas, and
and then they would
everything else.
go into the rivers or lakes, and then they would cold plunge pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
so-
ancient technique, man. Yeah. The human body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we are talking about using that as a tool to help overcome challenges and obstacles in front of us, and using that strength, that mental strength and physical strength that we gain through that process in other areas. But there's other ways. I mean, there's other things that people utilize. I mean, what do you got? Give me something.
So I was gonna say for another tool. So I'm in the art world as well. So I'm in graphic design and everything else. And I want to ask you guys this. So the whole like surge of AI now, that like there's AI tools that allow you to kind of just create artwork and everything else.
Yeah.
And I've had people in the graphic design industry and everything else, like they either jaded, one-sided, or, against it and all for it, or just in the middle, And what do you guys think? So for AI, like in terms of like all that it is to this point, like,
Yeah.
do you despise it? Do you
No.
are indifferent about it?
I think that the world needs to wake up and understand it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of working against it, find ways to allow it to work for you in your industries, in your businesses. Let's be honest, there's a lot of industries and a lot of employment opportunities.
Yeah.
They're going to go away.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of industries and a lot of employment opportunities that are going to open up.
Utilize it, yeah.
Now, one thing that I do see is like you can get somebody who doesn't have any art experience to create things.
Yeah.
So I feel like it might hurt or hinder people like you who have a degree in the art world, who people hire so they can create logos. Now you just go to an AI and be like, "Hey, create me a logo with this." And
It's not that perfect, but
No, but it's going to get there.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's going to get there.
And that's where people like Cody, it's important to harness
adapt to it. Yeah.
harness, utilize it, and be the best at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Because I don't want to learn everything.
Oh,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
have people in my life that understand the things I don't, so that they can do those things for me. I want to focus at what I'm good at,
Yeah.
and have team members like my brothers here that are good at things that I'm not, and vice versa. It's like the whole piece of a pie or a pizza. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a pizza. It's a thin crust pizza with Canadian bacon, pineapples, cashews, and jalapenos. That's my favorite pizza, just so you guys know. And it's sitting there. Well, I want a whole pizza. I might be just one big piece.
Yeah.
But we're all different pieces of that pie, if you would, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
I think AI is starting to bridge that, so someone, like I said earlier, like someone like you can
Yeah.
do those things without having to hire somebody.
So for my story, so when AI became a thing, I was noticing it, like they had Dolly Mini at first, which was very, very simple, and it generated like content that was really just like, you can tell that it was like robotic, because a lot of it was all there, but it was so jumbled. And then eventually they got worked with it, and then they released Midjourney, which was like one program that I use. I still subscribe to it and use it a lot for my tools and everything else. But then at one point, I kind of was going through like a scared moment. I was looking at all this art that it created, and then I was worried about myself. I was like, oh no, I'm a graphic designer. I'm going to school for this and everything else. And it's like, this thing can do, 1,000 times better, There's some imperfections, of course. It can't generate eyes and arms and fingers all that well. but you can fine tune it and get it to the right prompts.
Yeah.
So then I was kept thinking to myself, I'm like, how do I utilize this as a tool, and overcome it,
Yeah.
and to use it to benefit like my future goals. And then eventually that's kind of like what I did. I eventually just started using the tool and use it to kind of like cut corners that would save me like hours of time. And that's what I do now. It's like to save myself hours of time. I still do like the traditional mediums and stuff like sketching, drawing, and then storyboarding and everything else and all that other stuff. But if I really want to like cut corners and get like an idea,
And I don't even want to say cut corners. Is it really cutting corners if it's now a tool that's in front of you?
It's not really, because it's
not.
like the funny thing about it is like
Right.
people throughout history have always given like crap about certain ways that people used like tools. Like at a time, reference art was always shunned upon.
Yeah.
Like people just using like pictures of like stuff and like using like actual models to like just draw out and sketch things. At a time, a lot of like famous artists were giving crap about it, just as much as it is today with like AI. As it is, it's a tool.
It's a tool. And like Mr. Raya, you've been using it before it's even it even was a big thing, and everybody and their mom knew about it.
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
What were you using it for at the company?
For scripts.
Yeah.
I was using it for scripts. Because I can't write scripts. The thing.
Well, you can, but this one does it a lot quicker.
But this one does a lot quicker, but the thing is, what's cool about it is like, it kind of changed my way of thinking, and what it is I'm using this as a tool, and I'm not just saying, hey, I need a script for this and just run with it. I was like, I read it and be like, no, I don't like that. Can we add this? Can we add that? We start asking the right questions,
right,
and changing the way you
That's
ask
what I was gonna say.
ask the questions.
Now look, and that's where your skills will rise above. I don't want to say AI, but in order to get the most out of this tool, one can look at it as an obstacle or a challenge. We're not. We're going to look at it as an opportunity.
Yeah.
In order to get the most out of this opportunity, you have to ask the right questions. Your knowledge, your training, your education in this specific field is greater than the random that just is learning and can tell AI to do something and it will do it.
Yeah.
But is it going to do it the way you can tell it to do it? Because you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. Well, with AI, you ask the right questions, you get the right return and product back.
And I honestly think it's a great tool for like teaching people how to get into those things. It's like maybe you suck at how to draw anatomy. You can use that to like generate poses and reference art for yourself. And reference art, it will help you immensely to just kind of get what you want pictured and drawn out.
And one thing I also noticed about AI, it's not as creative as you think.
Oh no,
it's very generic.
But who has to be creative in order for
You have to be
You're
creative.
the one that's inputting
Yeah.
it.
There you go.
But the thing
There
is,
you go.
even like
So
I've
the human aspect, the human touch is still crucial.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
Because some of these scripts, there's times like, hey, I need a slapstick, funny comedy, like very funny script, and it gives me a very generic thing because it doesn't know how to be creative. Like so you realize like this is just a tool for like ideas. Like use it as an idea, and then you're the one that you have to put in your creative juices. You have to keep it flowing, So do your change or whatnot. But it's a good platform to start off, and then you can go from there.
I want to point something out that Cody said. You said the word afraid earlier as you were thinking, I'm going to college, I'm preparing, I'm educating myself.
I was afraid,
I'm spending lots of money to go to school for the hopes and plans of having a future in an industry that I'm seeing be overtaken by artificial intelligence. But in that process, you were able to kind of discover a little bit more about yourself. We talked about a little bit of self-discovery. You were able to come to a place of, wait a minute, I'm going to use this as a tool. So you didn't let fear overcome and override you.
No.
You actually used it to think outside of the box and utilize this as a tool rather than a hindrance.
Yeah, it piqued my curiosity, really. Because, like, really when it comes down to it for me, it's like whenever fear arrives into my mind, it turns into curiosity. It's more of like, what can I do to harness it and, like, learn more about it, And it was like that with the AI tool, it was like, man, I could lose my, my potential, if this just anyone can really just pop up anything and use it. It's like, well, I can just use it to just, help me train more to, be better at my skills of art and everything else, and to learn more from it,
Yeah.
to give me
overcome the
more
fear.
ideas.
And fear is not, I always say fear is not from God.
Yeah.
We're not to walk in fear. We're not to be afraid. We're to be strong, steadfast.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Immovable. And you were in that moment.
And
You
we're
felt
all
it,
curious
you should.
creatures,
Yeah.
And I think like people should turn fear into curiosity,
Well, AI lacks the human spirit.
Oh yeah.
It lacks humanity. So that's the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like when
We're still giving it that, that human touch.
we're still giving the human touch, but it doesn't know how to be human.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
There's some strange stuff happening out there, but that's another topic for another day. Now, really, yourself, anything else, like something that you can bring out that you want to share with the people as well? Another tool.
Another tool. I mean, like you say, people out there don't know, I'm a musician.
Yeah.
And music actually helped me get out of my comfort zone when I was younger. Because when I grew up, I was a shy kid. Didn't talk.
Yeah.
I didn't talk. I did some speech and debate in high school.
I was going to say, he didn't talk, so what did he do? He didn't run. He ran one of the toughest things that anybody does, which is public speaking.
Yeah.
Good on you, man.
Yeah.
Heck
And I became actually
Right?
co-captain of my speech and debate
The
team.
man that was afraid to talk.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I had a great coach.
Yeah.
She taught me, like, she's the first person who told me, like, oh, by the way, you have an accent. I'm like, what? Like, cause I didn't realize I had an accent until like she taught me how to over enunciate my words and articulate my words. I'm like,
Oh.
But then
Utilize
that
it,
helped. But then what really broke me out of my shell was actually playing music in front of people. I was nervous the first time I did it. I was super nervous, and then after that, I got so comfortable with it that it was natural.
You loved it.
I loved it, man. It was like it was my drug.
Right.
It was my drug. And, like
the natural high is what I like to say.
Yeah, the natural high.
Which there's so many of those out there. People are chasing the wrong thing. God has given us so many opportunities to have that natural endorphin kick, and you felt it.
I felt it, and I know this is the way. So I literally changed my whole entire life to chase that high, and and it just kept that going until I had a family.
Yeah.
And that kind of hindered it. I didn't stop, but I kind of slowed down, and I started focusing on other things. But just recently I started like going back to just because it's a way I can connect with people.
Yeah, you started playing covers with
I'm starting to do covers now.
Delgado, his brother,
so
and one other guy.
So what's that? And actually, he's a client of one of our LOs. Like, so he's a drummer, and me and him are like tight.
Oh yeah,
we're freaking tight. Same page. Like when we play, we sound like we've been playing for years together.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like this is our second time playing together, and and it was just like wow. But yeah, I use music to kind of build my confidence.
Yeah.
And yeah, I found my wife through music, even though she doesn't play music or anything, but it was
like the man on the stage.
Yeah.
Well, it was the connections. It was the connections that I made through music that introduced me to my wife.
Yeah.
So even though my wife like rolls her eyes every time I play music loud, because I still like to play music loud, she understands like that's who I am.
Yeah.
That's who I am. So that's. You might not, even though she might not like it, she knows that's part of me.
It's amazing too how like art really just kind of brings a lot of people together.
Yeah, absolutely.
It shares a common interest, and like I can think of a lot of times where like dancing, art, painting, and just a lot of other things that I've like done that has brought me like opportunities to just kind of like talk and meet interesting people. And from that point, I just felt like art is just something I'm so passionate about, just in general, like just any form of art that I will always try to like learn, gain knowledge from. And that's just about anything really.
What's crazy is, when I grew up, I didn't think I was artistic until I was an adult. I realized, dude, I'm an artist. Yeah. Like I had to like own it. And then once I owned it, I was able to create, and you mentioned it too. I was like, "You're a creator. That's why you always have to start creating." And and the thing is, when I'm not creating, I get all sad. I get sad. I'm like, I'm like, why am I so sad? Like everything's going well, but it's like it's not enough. It's because you stop creating. you kind of get depressed, and I'm like,
It fills your cup.
yeah, it
really does, yeah.
it does. So
Yeah.
so that's why if I'm not playing music, I was woodworking and not just making furniture. I was making signs,
Oh, you're
clocks.
doing some pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so I was making all that stuff.
Actually, I think we have.
We have the we shown it before. Yeah,
bot back
the
here,
little
bot back
robots.
it's one of many. There's all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff. around
Some
the
other
office.
wooden flags
Side
as
wooden
well.
flags. Actually,
Yeah.
I think the desk too. Yeah.
well, Joe gives those as gifts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like we gave one of our neighbors here, Lucky. Was
Yeah.
it Lucky Lace?
Yep.
You gifted them.
Yeah, Tanya and Kevin.
You gave them a California flag.
Yeah.
Props to them. She might have had a baby. Me and V were just talking about it. They might have had their baby.
Oh,
We
wow.
need to
yeah.
reach out to them. Yeah,
We'll
what's
reach
on
out
my
to
mind?
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and I went to the shop and I was like, it looks beautiful in their shop.
Yeah, it really does.
Because it's just that
And
rusticness.
how good did that feel?
Oh, it felt
That
great.
Your hands created that.
Yeah.
And it's on a wall being enjoyed by so many.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
So which I'm doing it with my client. Like I have a client who's going to be receiving a blue line flag.
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just finishing it. Because the thing is, my wife does all the detail work, and just trying to get her to do the work
So,
is a challenge. It's a challenge of itself.
when you gonna finish up mine?
I'm working on that one.
Moving on,
he
moving on.
came over a couple days ago, and he was like, "Where's my flag?" I was like, "It's hanging on the wall."
Yeah.
Just kinda, but what I was going to this is like I didn't know I was an artist until I became an artist.
Yeah.
Then now that I have kids, I realize all three of my kids are artists.
Yeah.
In their own different
Yes.
ways.
And brother, I'm going to say it, and most people don't realize it, but the way that our Creator has created us, we all are meant to create in one form or another.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is an
In
artist
that,
in
in
their
that
own
image.
right.
yeah.
They just don't realize it,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
don't own that, and a lot of people try and fill themselves with things that aren't good. There's a
Yeah.
lot of good out there. One,
Yeah.
I fill myself with my Father. I seek His Word, and that's where I find strength and growth, and loving others and encouraging others. But there's still the human aspect. I need something that's gonna drive me. That's gonna grab me. And that's the thing. Music, the cold plunge, physically training, coaching.
Yeah.
The art, all the different aspects. But there's so many good tools out there for people to use. So many hiking. I mean, gosh dang, parasailing.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
name so many different things that are positive and encouraging and uplifting that you can do to help you become a better person and help others become better, build and encourage others up,
Motivate.
and fill that adrenaline void that a lot of us need. I don't know. I know this group of people does. We like pushing ourselves to that
Yeah,
kind of extreme.
yeah.
But no, it's great, man. And it is neat to see when your kids carry that forward as well,
Yeah.
and you can see it.
Yeah, no, like
carry over the
my
torch.
daughter, my youngest
Yeah.
daughter. So I have twin girls, right? And they both are into arts. My youngest daughter, Alex, that girl can draw, and she draws, but she uses a technique of like the circles and to create like animals and stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, she creates. She's 12, but she creates these characters, these animals, in different poses, and they look legit.
Yeah.
And I'm like.
She's an artist.
She's an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then my other twin, she's more background. Like she creates backgrounds and stuff like that. I'm like, what the fudge? And then my son is a coder. Like
That's insane.
He's
Yeah.
like his
That
art
is
is
insane.
like creating code for
He
video
speaks a
games.
whole other language.
Yeah, and just like
literally.
it's like,
yeah.
And then I talked to his teacher because he has a digital media class.
Yeah.
And he's all like, your son has skills.
He's
Oh, yeah.
genius.
He's skills like
Yeah.
he's skilled because that's all he's motivated. That's
Yeah.
like he's just like
That's his focus.
That's
That's
his
his
that's his
focus,
only
yeah.
focus, you know.
Yeah, this is the
So
only focus. Take it, son. Focus on English a little bit. I'm doing coding, Dad.
I mean he's terrible at the other subjects, but
Yeah, but he's really,
Yeah.
really good at
Yeah.
that. There
I
you
at least
go.
tempted in mine, but like for sure, like art and history were my main two back
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
school.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because every family, you look at it, especially at your own kids, and you can see that they're all good at doing something different. Valine's an artist in many ways,
Oh, yeah.
painting, drawing, piano, all the stitching, crafting, quilting, and Joey, different. He doesn't do that. He's more of the... He got 104% in Calculus 4. He ruined the curve for the college. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, I don't know, it just comes down. It's easy.
Yeah.
It's easy because his brain, like Isaac's, works different.
Yeah.
They all, and that's the beauty of it, man. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
when you can watch someone, especially your own kids, but when you can watch someone find that and it encourages and it feels good and they're like, man, they're fulfilled. They're doing something great.
Yeah.
How awesome is that? What a blessing, man.
Yeah.
What a blessing.
well, your
But-
son is a poet when it comes to the universal language of math.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, gosh, man, it was good. I think we got a lot of good tools out there. A lot of good tools that people can utilize. And,
Yeah.
you know, everybody, this is the thing. Who's going to have adversity and obstacles?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Yeah.
How are we going to handle them?
You move forward.
That's the difference, right?
Utilize it.
And sometimes we fall. Do we fall?
Absolutely.
What do we do?
Yeah.
Get up.
We get back up.
Get it back.
We get back up, man. And it's good to surround yourself with good people. So when I do fall, maybe my bro, one of you guys will pick me up a little quicker, dust me off and say, hey, let's keep moving. You know?
Which has happened.
It has.
It has on both end and with
Yeah.
you as well. Like we pick each other up and we're like, we can tell when one of us are slipping. So hey,
Yeah.
pick you guys up and hey, let's move forward. And you're like,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, man,
So,
it is, and it's important. And that's part of the thing when you have those tools like music, like art, like training, like coaching, like surfing, whatever it is that person has, they have that tool that they enjoy and they're passionate about and they can love and give through and encourage others through it. You find a community of